This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom. We begin our newscast with the precious commodity of life, water. The ceremonial contract signing of the Portmore Co-Management Non-Revenue Water Reduction Program took place on Thursday. Here are the details.
Non-revenue water is water that has been produced and is lost before it reaches the customer. Losses can be real losses, such as through leaks, or apparent losses, for example through theft or metering inaccuracies. How much does the NWC lose in non-revenue water? Board Chairman Michael Shaw tells us.
The island-wide non-water revenue levels is estimated at 70% of water production. Hence, a sense of urgency is being deployed to address this issue.
The Water Commission is moving to mitigate these losses.
Through the Portmore NRW program, these are the stuff that will happen. Old pipes will be replaced, thereby reducing leaks. Modern meters will be installed so that the customers can benefit from accurate bills, and the residents will be added to the network so that there can be more legitimate customers opposed to just consumers.
One of the major participants of the Portmore project is the International Water Efficiency Co-Management partner MIA Jamaica. Previously, MIA had worked with the NWC for a similar project for Kingston and St. Andrew. This $5 billion project began in the third quarter of 2016 with the aim to cut by half the 60% levels of non-revenue water in Kingston and St. Andrew. Country Manager Alvaro Ramalho spoke to the successes of that initiative.
From that point, we have been dropping with overall results of around less than 70,000 cubic meters of losses, where we came from 125. It's also relevant to say that the revenues that this project has generated are in the order of the 50 million, when this project is costly so far 65 million, including the costs of NWC staff that we are accounting in this contability.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness said non-revenue water is a strain on the government's coffers that cannot continue. He singled out the issue of water theft as a major challenge.
We can try to solve the regular maintenance issues by solving the way in which we manage our resources and become more fiscally efficient and place funds to maintain the system. But then there's a bigger problem of the illegal abstraction, of the citizens feeling that they should take the water because somebody else is going to pay for it. Water is life, we're going to die without it. And the fear of the political class to address this issue, which is what I call a part of the politics of poverty. No one wants to have a conversation with our citizens, many of whom are poor and dispossessed, about how do we treat with this water issue. How are you going to ask someone who is unemployed, who has 10 kids, how are you going to ask them to pay for water? It is the greatest fear of politicians. But the country cannot move forward with things as they are.
For the news on PBCJ, I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
Effective January 1, 2021, the government will be implementing Phase 3 of the ban on single-use plastic packaging materials. The third phase of the government's ban on single-use plastic was announced this morning. Phase 3 will incorporate single-use plastic bags with dimensions above 24 by 24 inches with thickness of 2.5 mils. A ban will also be placed on some single-use drinking straws attached to juice boxes or drink pouches.
We have had intense discussions with the relevant public sector agencies and the private sector leading up to Phase 3 of the ban. And these orders were promulgated 24 months ago. Based on our circumstances, we continue to foster partnership and collaboration with all stakeholders, and the government will be implementing the ban January 1st, 2021, but will be affording a transition and review period of 6 months before fully effecting enforcement of the ban. And it must be noted that within this period of time, it is expected that the private sector will deplete or replace all affected products currently circulated in the trade. 2, it is expected that they will ensure that the production processes are retrofitted as appropriate to facilitate compliance with the provisions of the ban. And 3, the public sector will ramp up its public education and awareness raising activities.
On Thursday, Public Defender Arlene Harrison Henry filed a constitutional claim in the Supreme Court. The claim challenges a government-issued permit for quarrying in or of the Dry Harbour mountain. The named defendants in the claim are the Attorney-General of Jamaica, the Natural Resources Conservation Authority, and Bengal Development Limited. News emerged in early November that Leslie Campbell, the then minister without portfolio in the office of the Prime Minister, had, in July, overturned a decision by a state watchdog not to allow mining and quarrying at the location in Discovery Bay, St. Anne. Bengal developers now had leave to proceed. The claimants seek an order to quash the decision of the minister, which overruled NRCA's refusal to grant Bengal a mining permit. The Dry Harbour Mountains are a range of mountains in north-central Jamaica that form the eastern boundary of the cockpit country. The Auditor-General's Department has become the latest local entity to be certified ISO 9001:2015 Quality Management System Standard by the National Certification Board of Jamaica. The certification was presented to Auditor-General Pamela Monroe Ellis by Industry, Investment and Commerce Minister Audley Shaw.
But the truth is that these 3 C's, commitment to continual improvement and customer satisfaction, is in essence what the adoption of the quality standard is about. It's really an affirmation that we are committed to continuous improvement. And that is what quality is about. You have to continuously review your system for relevance and sufficiency. So our implementation team worked tirelessly, and I really want to commend them.
I am once again pleased to be joining an ISO 9001 certificate handover ceremony. I'm even more pleased to note that the trend of ISO certification is catching on among government agencies, ministries, departments. And you know, I'm so happy to have heard the comments of the Auditor-General, because you know, you are called upon to be looking at everybody else. And therefore, this was an opportunity for you to demonstrate that you are prepared to abide by standards that you are seeking others to abide by. There seems to be a race now to get out of the blocks among MDAs, and I like that. It augurs well for our quest as a country to become world-class in customer service and the quality of our goods and services.
The ceremony was held at the St. Peter and Paul Church Hall on Thursday. Established in 2007, the NCBJ offers certification services to companies in Jamaica and the wider Caribbean. The NCBJ is also accredited by the United States-based National Accreditation Board. To date, there are only 40 ISO-certified companies in Jamaica. It's just a few days before Christmas Day, and people will be out and about doing business and shopping for that special gift. While you're on the road, remember to stay vigilant and stay safe. Here are a few tips to bear in mind from Head of the Constabulary Communications Network, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay. SSP Stephanie Lindsay has several tips for shoppers and for those doing business.
Even as we purchase our new gadgets for the season, you may want to purchase a brand new television or some expensive household items. Even though you discard the boxes, it's very important. We encourage you to cut them into pieces and put them into bags, because we are also concerned about burglary And persons will use the opportunity because they recognize that from the content and the boxes that you have some things that they are interested in.
There are also tips to secure personal property such as your home or your car. Cyber criminals are also a concern.
You want to be vigilant because there are persons out there who will use the opportunity in the traffic to get into your cars whilst you're waiting to move on, because Christmas is usually associated with traffic congestions. So when you get into your car, we encourage you to lock your doors. Ensure that no one can come into your vehicle if the traffic, in the traffic. We also encourage you to put away things like your handbag and so on the floor of the car as opposed to keeping them on the car seat. And if at all possible, keep your windows up whilst you're in traffic. We know that because of COVID-19, a lot of things are happening online. So for the children, it's school online. They spend a lot of time online. Sometimes they're even left unsupervised. So we don't know who else they are talking to online. So we encourage children and we encourage adults that when you meet someone online, even though the person may appear to be a genuine individual, which they might be, however, we have a lot of predators online who use it to traffic and to profile persons who they believe can be victims and target of their scheme.
Remember, COVID-19 is still here. Be vigilant and stay safe. Peter Bunting has been sworn in as the 8th opposition senator. The ceremony was held at Gordon House in downtown Kingston just before the sitting of the Senate. Senator Bunting will also be taking up the mantle of Leader of Opposition Business in the Senate, replacing Senator Donna Scott Mutley. He will also be the opposition spokesman on national security. Senator Bunting replaces businessman Norman Horn following his decision to resign his appointment as one of the former opposition leader Dr. Peter Phillips's nominees. The Registrar-General's Department, RGD, now boasts an online chat feature on its website. RGD says it's part of efforts to improve the department's customer service. RGD customers are now able to send queries as well as check the status of their applications. The online chat can be accessed through the RGD website, rgd.gov.jm, and will be operational between the hours of 8:30 a.m. and 3 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Time now for a look at the international market movements in this quick business report with Gabriel Thompson.
In Thursday's trading session, the JSE combined index declined by 67 points to close at under 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 88 stocks, of which 38 advanced, 35 declined, and 15 traded firm. The junior market index advanced by 25 points to close at under 3,000 units. Stocks advanced for 1834 Investments Limited, AMG Packaging and Paper Company, and Pbcj Jamaica. Stocks declined for 138 Student Living Jamaica, Barita Investments Limited, and CAC 2000 Preference Shares. Trading firm were Access Financial Services Limited, Carreras Limited, and Sebony Group Limited. NCB Financial Group Limited was the volume leader with over 6 million units, followed by Lumber Depot Limited with 1.6 million units and Fosrich Company Limited with 1.3 million units. Now for the foreign exchange. The US dollar on Thursday, December 17, ended trading at $144.01. The Canadian dollar sold for an average $113.66. The pound sterling traded for $194.88, and the euro ended trading at $178.47. Oil dipped towards $51 a barrel on Friday, though still headed for a 7th weekly gain in a row as investors focused on the rollout of COVID-19 vaccines and looked past rising case numbers and tighter lockdowns in Europe. Pfizer has applied for approval in Japan for its vaccine, which is being used in the United Kingdom and the United States. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is also working towards approving Moderna's shot. Brent crude futures fell 22 cents to $51.28 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate crude futures slid 12 cents to $48.24 a barrel. And that does it for this edition of the Business Report on PBCJ. I'm Gabrielle Thompson.
In regional news, the St. Lucian public may soon know who has breached COVID-19 home quarantine and possibly placed the lives of fellow citizens at risk. The ministers for Health and National Security say breaches in protocols are not being taken lightly. Authorities hope COVID-19 wardens can help ensure compliance with the measures, which are intended to keep the general public safe during the pandemic.
Breaches in home quarantine have forced health officials to re-examine their stance on confidentiality. An undisclosed number of individuals are said to be violating the protocols and dodging health officers who perform routine checks to ensure they indeed are in home quarantine. Minister for Health Mary Isaac, ahead of the sitting of Senate on Thursday, told the press that the decision to publish the names of the offenders has been weighed against the importance of protecting the wider society.
We have been observing the whole issue of confidentiality, and we do not want people to discriminate against those people who are in quarantine, people in isolation, as well as people who have tested positive for COVID-19. But it has reached a point where we are trying to protect the nation, and as a result, we have to do everything in our power to protect the masses as opposed to one or two persons. These people may well be endangering other people in the public, okay, and spreading COVID-19. So I believe that this is a last resort measure, and we are still, while we have put it out, we are still contemplating whether there is not a better way.
In the absence of another alternative, the health officials are sticking to the promise of publicizing the identity of those who flout home quarantine. The issue of home quarantine is paramount for officials, given limited accommodation at state-run facilities. The introduction of monitoring wristbands was touted as another way to keep tabs on those in quarantine.
These things are instituted up to a point, and this is why we are saying we cannot find the persons. Because when we call, well, you know our people and our culture. The people have the bands, not necessarily the electronic band, because we don't have sufficient to go around. They have bands. And the numbers that they give us to contact them, we are trying our best to get through to them, and even sending out word that, you know, should anybody come into contact with these persons, we are doing that individually. And we are not succeeding. It's getting to the point where, you know, it's becoming very risky to just have these people out there.
Minister for National Security Herman Gill Francis is looking to COVID-19 wardens as another line of enforcement in corralling quarantine and protocol violators.
It's the Christmas season. A lot of St. Lucians are coming down. We don't have the facilities, so we are going to allow them to do it. We have also said with the COVID police now, that and some of the persons that are doing tracking, contract tracing from the Ministry of Tourism, they will be monitoring these people. And a press release came out that those persons are going to be called in and spoken to. And if you're not keeping to your promise to stay home, then action will be taken against you.
The wardens have begun walking the beat, canvassing city streets and environs.
I am praying that what they will do is persuasion in the first instance, that they persuade people to follow the rules and regulations. If obviously you're not following the rules, then enforcement comes in.
Persons in home quarantine are urged to contact the assigned health officers in their district if they have not been notified by the authorities. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.
An app designed to boost economic activity in the borough of Chaguanas was launched by the Chaguanas Chamber of Industry and Commerce in collaboration with the local developer Halo Technologies. Dubbed Nearby Stores TT, it sends promotions and deals offered by clients on the app to users within a 10-kilometer area span. But although it was designed specifically for the Chaguanas area, there are hopes it could spread nationally. Sunil Lala reports.
Nearby Stores, Using Google Maps, the Nearby Stores TT app was created to assist the businesses to promote their goods and services via one platform through geo-targeting, in-app messaging, and push campaigns for offers and promotions. When downloaded via Google Play, the app prompts a user to turn on their GPS, and users would be able to see all the offers from businesses using it. This location tag allows businesses to push promotions to someone, but as Director of Halo Technologies Jovi Chuni explains, a user's location is secure.
So any application that you use today uses Google Maps. So it doesn't share your location to any third party or anything like that. It's Nearby Stores, Google Maps, back to you.
Over 50 businesses have already begun to use the app, and although version 1 only offers deals and promos to users, version 2, carded to be launched in 2021, will allow users to purchase and track their products. Chaguanas Chamber President Vishnu Chara notes that the app was expensive, but is hoping it could attract businesses and users outside the borough.
This is just the beginning, and we know that this is going to be it's rolled out in Chaguanas, but it's going to be applicable throughout Trinidad and Tobago. And we have had a lot of people already calling into the office and asking to be part of it, and they want to get some more information.
Meanwhile, Trade Minister Paula Gopi-Schoon hailed the Chamber for taking the lead in a bid to revolutionize the shopping market.
The Nearby Stores app is timely. It's a good solution as it provides a platform for entrepreneurs to set up an online store with special features such as geo-targeting of customers, advertising products and services, notifications for specials, and directions to the place of business.
Chaguanas Mayor Faiq Mohammed, meanwhile, believes the app could eventually limit the amount of people coming into Chaguanas, but may also have the opposite effect of attracting consumers to physically visit the borough. Sonolala, TTT News.
In sports, we go to the football pitch as the number of sponsors for the 2021 National Premier League has jumped to 6. The JMMB Group is now on board thanks to the efforts of Professional Football Jamaica. The deal was inked Thursday afternoon. JMMB CEO Keith Duncan says the brand recognizes the importance of football to the Jamaican populace.
JMMB is confident because we see a level of leadership and management that has come to the table for football. And Chris, you bring that confidence for us, that you can advance us forward. Jamaica, football is integral to Jamaica. Football is integral to our communities. Football is integral to our children's lives, to our youth's lives. Jamaica is at a place where we need to focus on those who need the help, those who need the support, focus on our communities that really need to have that energy, that spirit, that enthusiasm, something that they can own to be their own. And football represents that for Jamaica.
Professional Football Jamaica is the body that runs the Premier League. Chairman Chris Williams says JMMB's involvement is critical.
Firstly, they're helping to ensure that we have a platform from which the young men, the ballers out there, can demonstrate their skills and from those skills earn a living and feed their families and take care of their loved ones. JMMB, thank you for helping those young men.
Thank you, sir.
Secondly, JMMB is also stepping up because they recognize that 2021 is a crucial year for football in Jamaica. We need to ensure that football is being played so that the members of the Reggae Boys can be getting game time and they can be honing their skills to get us ready to qualify. We want to be there in 2022. And JMMB is again helping us to try and get that dream to become a reality.
JMMB will now join Yummy Bakery, Jamaica Producers, Wasinco, Indies Pharma, and Mount Pleasant Academy as club sponsors. And that's our package. Thanks so much for watching PBCJ. Remember, we are the People's Station.